Nag-angas na naman. Nag-angas na naman ng China, guys. Nag-angas na naman sila. Nag-angas. Mas marami sila ngayon kumpara dati. Dati parang 5 o 6 lang. Ngayon 12. Isang dosenang barko. Grabe. 12 Chinese vessels block Philippines resupply mission anew in Ayungin Shoal. Yung dati, parang 5 lang yata. Ngayon 12. Alam nyo kung bakit? Kasi kasama si Coast Guard. Ano ba explain to? Kasi mga kotsero, ang nagdadala kasi ng supplies doon sa Ayungin Shoal, sa BRP Sierra Madre, AFP, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Philippine Navy ang nagdadala basically. Hindi pwedeng gamitin ng Philippine Navy yung barko nila papunta sa Ayungin Shoal. Bakit? Kasi contested area nga. So hindi pwede. So ang gagawin ng Philippine Navy, uupa sila ng mga commercial boats. Maliliit lang na bangka. Tapos ilalagay doon yung mga supplies. Pagkalagay doon ng supplies, mga kotsero, saka yun ba biyahe papuntang Ayungin? Ngayon, ang gagawin nitong Chinese, siguro dati wala pang hindi pa kasama yung Coast Guard, mga 2, 3 lang na barko yung pangaharang nila. Etong pinaka-recent, medyo marami, 6, 5 or 6. Ngayon mga kotsero, 12? Isang dosenang Coast Guard ships at saka Chinese Maritime Militia. 2 Chinese Coast Guard ships and 10 Maritime Militia vessels took part in Friday's blockade at Ayungin Shoal as the Philippines conducted its 3rd resupply mission in 5 weeks to its military outpost in BRP Sierra Madre. Ang tindi nito. Siyempre si Commodore J. Tariela, meron na naman siya mga videos. Ayan, yung Coast Guard, Hinarangan ulit. Wala, harang. Ayan, Binakura, Diba? Tikas ng mukha nyo! Tikas ng mukha nyo! Ayan Maritime Militia yan Meron pa yan, marami pa. Ito pa. Yan yung Maritime Militia. Ayan yan. Ito yung Coast Guard natin. Ayan, yan. Tapos ito yung Coast Guard ng China. Yun pa yun yung bangka natin. Bangka ba natin yun? Hindi, Maritime Militia pala yun. Ayan di ba? Mga oga. Sorry. Sorry na Lord. Ayan. Babangga Babanggain Ayan. Kanya-kanyang video Wait, sorry natawa ako dito. Nagvi-video sila. Nagvi-video din ng Pilipinas. Ito mga journalist yan Nagvi-video din sila sa relay yung mga Chinese. Ayan. Paramihan tayo ng video. Diba? Tigas ng mukha, So yan yung ganap kanina. Ito, binox in, yan. But thankfully, successful naman yung operation. Sabi ni Commodore Tariela. Siya raw yung traidor, mga kotsero. Si Commodore Tariela. sabi ng mga Pinoy na pro-China, si si Tariela daw yung traidor. Alam niyo mga kotsero, ito na lang inaabangan ko dyan. May magkamali. Si Chinese Coast Guard, inaantok, hindi nakapokus, or nabahing. Pagbahing niya, tumama yung barko ng Coast Guard sa barko natin. Yun, gulo na yun. Sigurado ako. Gulo na yun, guys. Yun na lang iniintay ko dyan yung kakaganyan nila, kakaharang-harang nila. One of these days, magbabanggaan yan. At kapag nagbanggaan yan, mga kotsero, yun, trigger na yan. Yan na yung trigger ng gulo dyan. Gulo talaga yan. Bakit po ganito ka-exage ang pagbabantay ng China? Kasi po, marami pong hindi nakakaalam nito. At hindi ko po alam kung binanggit na po ito ng mga pro-China Filipinos. Pero meron po kasing batas sa China na ipinasa noong 2021. Alam na natin na magiging problema to Nung una ko itong nabalitaan, sabi ko, problema nito sigurado sa West Philippine Sea. Nagpasa sila ng batas. Ang pangalan, Coast Guard Law. China Coast Guard Law. Ibig sabihin, mandatory. Sabi, it empowers the Chinese Coast Guard to exert increased authority to threaten China's neighbors and attempt to change the status quo in the East and South China Sea. Countries that value freedom and democracy must protect regional stability and the rule of law by strengthening multilateral cooperation and countering China's challenges. So, sa isip ng mga Chinese, justified sila sa ginagawa nila. Bakit? Kasi Chinese kami eh. Sinusunod lang naman namin yung batas namin sa China. But the law of China is not international law. The law of China is not international law. And regardless of your historical right, quote-unquote, your historical right, wala na yon. Voided na yon nung pumirma sila sa UNCLOS. May vlog na ako tungkol dyan. Pakipanood na lang. Napakahaba ng vlog ko tungkol dyan. Explain ko na yun. And because of that, mga kotsero, I think this is in response doon sa sinabi ni President Bongbong Marcos recently. Sinopla niya yung Sinopla niya yung Chinese premier recently sa ASEAN. So ngayon, yun na ngayon na nangyari. But alam nyo mga kotsero, eto na nga. Recently, and I don't think this was the trigger, but kanina, may bago na namang pinirmahan si Presidente. Nandito kasi yung Prime Minister ng Australia. Yung punong abala sa Australia nasa Pilipinas. At nagpirmahan na sila. Pirmahan na to guys. Na John Hancock na nila yan. Pirmahan. Marcos Albanese, no yung basa? Signed strategic partnership deal amid South China Sea tensions. The Philippines and Australia further solidify their alliance with the signing of a strategic partnership as the two countries seek to counter China's growing aggression in the South China Sea. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese signed the joint declaration on strategic partnership between their countries in Malacanang on Friday. Kanina po yan, mga kotsero. During the meeting, Marcos thanked Albanese for the strong support to the Philippines and for making clear that the claims that are being made upon Philippine maritime territory are not valid and have not been recognized and not in conjunction or consistent with international law. On top of that, to have friends like you, Australia, and partners like you, Australia pa rin, and of course other partners, especially on that subject, is very gratifying and encourages us to continue down that path. So we thank you for that. Sabi ko sa inyo mga kotsero, I still support FPRRD except for this point. Except dito sa China. Ever since, it has been the case. Panoorin natin yung video.
Once again, I think we find ourselves, I think the Australian shift maybe a decade or two ago in saying that Australia's future is with Asia has really become a reality. And that's why the closeness between our countries, between Australia and the Philippines, is terribly important. We have a solid basis here because absent all diplomatic, trade, etc. agreements, the people-to-people exchanges between our two countries has been significant over the years. And once again, the Filipino nationals who live in Australia and have chosen to go and live and work there have been are very happy to have been assimilated properly into Australian society, and for that we are very grateful. Thank you very much for that. And may I just add a word of thanks to you, Mr. Prime Minister, for the strong support that you have made for the Philippines, especially during the past ASEAN conference, where you have made very clear that the claims that are being made upon Philippine Maritime Territory are not valid and have not been recognized
Yun,
and
yun, yun.
are not in conjunction or consistent with international law. And to have friends like you and partners like you in that especially on that subject is very gratifying and encourages us to continue down that path. So we thank you for that. And once again, welcome to the Philippines.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, for the very warm welcome that myself and my delegation have received. It is great to be back in Manila.
Yes.
And to be here as Prime Minister on my first Prime Ministerial visit to Manila. And I know that Australia and the Philippines are great friends, and I hope that this visit helps to take it to an even higher level as we go forward. The new strategic partnership that we'll sign today will strengthen the bilateral ties that we've had for 77 years. And of course, in Jakarta, I launched our new Southeast Asia economic strategy to 2040. We see our future as very much lying here in our region, and the prospect of increased trade and economic engagement is very important. We also have important security issues where we have common views about the need to uphold international law, and Australia's position on that will continue to be consistent as we have always been, including recently over issues relating to the South China Sea. We regard the presence of an open, stable and prosperous region as being absolutely critical. Support for trade, support for sovereignty and support for ASEAN centrality as well in our engagement. We have a collective responsibility for security, including support for the UN Convention and the law of the sea, UNCLOS. That's very important. And Australia does support, as I said, at the East Asia Summit, the 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award. That is final and it's binding, and it's important that be upheld going forward. But I look forward to our further discussions today. It is true that the diaspora, of course, in Australia, including in my own local electorate and local community, is very strong. And the Filipino-Australian community are a community that make an enormous contribution to the economic and cultural life of our multicultural nation of Australia. And I'm sure I bring with me the very good wishes of Filipino-Australians to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear that the locals have invaded your constituency as well.
Invaded. Invaded talaga. Anyway. So, yon. So, at least, dumadami na yung nagre-recognize sa arbitral ruling. Sa Pilipinas po, meron tayong concept ng latches. Essentially, ganito po yan. Kapag ikaw, halimbawa, merong karapatan na hindi mo ipinaglaban, automatic na isuko mo na yung karapatan mo. Yun po yun. Yun po yung latches. So, halimbawa, lalo na maraming foreigners, maraming OFW na nanonood sa atin. Kung kayo po, merong mga lupa na nakatenga o may mga property na hindi nyo ginagamit, make sure na you're enforcing your right. Ano po yung isabi enforcing your right? Nagbabayad kayo ng amilyar, inaalagaan nyo kahit papano, o binibisita nyo every now and then. Kasi pag hindi nyo po in-enforce yung right nyo, pabawiin niya ng gobyerno. Pabawiin niya ng gobyerno. Yun po yung latches. So, at least ngayon, we are enforcing our right. Matagal natin di in-enforce yung karapatan natin, mga kotsero. And I hope this will bring us good. I hope this will bring us good in the future. Pero alam niyo, mga kotsero, I think, observe ko lang naman. Tulad ngayon, pumirma na tayo ng free trade agreement sa South Korea. Malaya na tayo makakapag-trade sa South Korea. Mas mababa ang taxes, di ba? Mas marami silang pwedeng ma-import sa atin, mas mababa ang taxes, etc. etc. Ano po yung import natin sa kanila? I think this is related to our agriculture. Parang parang ano to parang bananas yata to, tsaka hindi na sinulat dito sa PNA. Pero kasama dyan yung yung ating mga agricultural products. Specifically, kanina narinig ko, bananas, saging. Alam niyo kung bakit importante yung saging? Naalala niyo dati nung una nating inilaban yung ating rights sa West Philippine Sea? 'Di ba yun ang unang tinira sa atin ng China? Yung importation natin ng saging. I think we are starting to open up other markets for Philippine agriculture. So, if this is the case, malapit na rin kaya tayong mag-decouple sa China? Think about it. Naisip ko lang naman kanina. Habang nung nabasa ko tong sa South Korea, sabi ko, saging? Nung narinig ko pala yung balita, sabi ko, kasama yung saging. Saging talaga. So, ibig sabihin, unti-unti na tayong didecouple sa China? Possible yan. Tapos, ito ngayon, kakapirma lang natin kanina sa Australia. Sinabi nung Prime Minister, more trade and investment. More trade and investment daw, sabi ng Australia. Tsaka yung defense ng West Philippine Sea. Kasama din. Tapos nung nasa ASEAN, meron trilateral meetings between US, Japan, and the Philippines. Di ba nag-call down ng meeting? Di ko lang alam kung natuloy. Parang walang update Pero napag-usapan yun dun. So it seems, mga kotsero, we are opening our country. Binubuksan natin yung ating bansa sa iba nating mga trade partners. Potential trade partners. Ang hindi ko lang gusto na na nangyayari sa Pilipinas with regard to China. Yung biglang pasok ng EV sa Pilipinas. Electric vehicles. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi hindi ko alam kung hanggang kailan tatagal yung mga yan. Hindi ko alam kung hanggang kailan tatagal yung mga electric vehicles dito sa Pilipinas yung issue pa nga lang ni Geely, hindi na di ba? Sobrang nasira si Geely doon sa issue niya. But I think we're starting to prepare ourselves for a potential potential lang. Hindi ko sinasabing mangyayari. Pero kasi hindi predictable si China Para siyang 7-year-old na nagtatantrums pag hindi nakukuha yung gusto, bigla-biglang tumitigil. Parang hindi nag-iisip. Tingnan niyo sa Japan, ginawa recently. Lahat ng pagkain sa Japan, pinagbawal. Hindi na sila nag-i-import sa Japan. Bakit? Kasi nagtapon daw ng nuclear waste sa dagat kahit naman malinis yung waste. Kumbaga na-treat na yung waste and everything. Ngayon, bawal daw yung seafood galing ng China kasi may nuclear waste daw. Gilan ako. Sila China nga, Diyos ko, napakadumi ng dagat ng China. So, yun. So it seems this is going to be something very, 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 very serious. At again, ang simple lang naman kasi ng resolution dito sa problema na to Hindi naman kasi kailangan mambuli ng China. Sa totoo lang. Hindi ko kailangan mambuli ng China. Kasi open naman tayo for partnership Maski before. Mas lalo nung panahon ni FPRRD, sobrang open natin sa China. Ang gusto kasi nila, solohin lahat ng resources ng West Philippine Sea. Bakit nila kailangang solohin yung resources ng West Philippine Sea? Unang-una, for fuel. Nandun kasi lahat ngayon ng gasolina Okay, number 1. Number 2, pagkain. Wala akong pagkain sa China. Lahat na pagkain nila, ini-import nila. So saan sila nag-fish? Nangingisda sila sa West Philippine Sea, kaya gusto nilang solohin yan. Pangatlo, para mapigilan yung potential na choke point kasi yan Choke point yung West Philippine Sea. Yung buong Southeast Asia na yan. Kapag na-choke yan, walang trade na papasok sa China maliban kung tatawid yun ng Russia. Or ano ba? Russia, Middle East. Yun. Kung tatawid doon, yan, magkakaroon sila ng trade. Kaso, gasino lang yun, maliliit lang yun. Eh yung mga malalaki nasa tanker. Nasa mga, yun, sa mga tanker. So, kapag na-choke yun, let's say magkaroon ng gulo, tapos gawing choke point yung South China Sea, wala. Gutom ang China. Matatalo sila sa gutom. Hindi na kailangan magbomba-bomba. Wala, hindi na kailangan ng gera. Gutumin na lang sila. Magugutom yan. And of course, the other side of the coin, kung choke point siya ng trade sa buong Southeast Asia or East Asia, actually trillion dolyares ang tumatawid dun sa South China Sea na yan. Na worth of trade. Eh paano kung one of these days biglang mag-impose ng taxes lahat ng tatawid doon sa West Philippine Sea? Kasi kiniklaim ng China na teritoryo nila eh. O di i-impose kami ng taxes namin. Kaya po nakikita nyo na yung nakikita nyo po yung sense kung bakit po it seems pinagtutulungan si China, but really they're not. Hindi po pinagtutulungan si China. China just became so belligerent. Sobrang parang si Vice, sobrang yabang. Na feeling niya hindi mag-a-apply sa kanya yung batas. Feeling niya wala siyang kailangang sundin na international law. So, syempre, meron na naman mga tao na sasabihin, ipe-paint nila si China na parang biktima, na parang, hindi kasi merong historical right, etc., etc. Ano, give it a rest. Give it a rest. Wag na ho natin gawing tanga ang mga Pilipino. Please lang. Tayo na nga lang magkakasama eh. Gagawin pa natin tanga isa't isa. Wala bang kakampi sa Pilipinas? Why not kampihan na lang natin Pilipinas, di ba? Unahin natin ang Pilipinas. Kung ano yung makakabuti sa bansa natin, di go. Yung makakasama, wag gawin. Yung makakabuti, yun ang gawin. Pwede naman ganun. Anyway, so hanggang dito na lang po muna tayo mga Coachero. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe sa ating pong Coach Jared YouTube channel, and I'll see all of you in our next Coach Jared Learn! Bye everyone, see you next time. Bye.